Hello. As Steve said, I'm going to summarize the work we did looking at the market demand. We did some work on existing market conditions as well, which will be in the existing conditions report, but today I'm going to focus a lot on future demands, potentials for the new uses that the city would like to see in the area. The purpose of the work overall was to assess that future context for the new development that was desired. It provides sort of direction and input for the city plan work that's coming along. We built on and updated as needed the earlier analysis, the retail analysis. We assessed the demand for additional uses besides the retail, could be upper floor uses. These results provide parameters now as we move into looking at alternatives for the area. And in doing the work, we drew a lot from experience of other retailing in the Bay Area and elsewhere. We have a consultant working with us out of Vancouver, Canada, who's a retail and downtown expert, so he brings kind of the bigger outside picture along with the Bay Area and California picture, so that gives us an added perspective. Just as background, Carrie Jo mentioned some of this already, but there's very large leakage of dollars going out of the areas. We all know our shopping opportunities in Oakland are relatively limited, and so we spend money elsewhere. And you know, when you do these kind of studies, many times we're focusing on future growth potentials. You know, as you get more population, you'll get more dollars, and you can do things. Well, here, a lot of the focus is we have a lot of dollars, but they're going out of Oakland. And so it's a different situation than you often have with these kinds of studies. The analysis also shows there's a lot of leakage in the middle income and upper middle income categories too. People don't think of Oakland that way, you know, outside of our area, but the dollars are very significant. We did some comparisons to get some ideas of numbers, and it's very interesting if you compare the expenditures for comparison good shopping, which I'll define a little bit better in a minute, but our major shopping of residents of Oakland, with the sales in those categories in Oakland, you find that about 2/3 of the expenditures go outside the area. That's a very large share overall. So in other words, of all the expenditures we're making, 2/3 of them, the expenditures are more than 2/3 bigger than the sales that are being captured in the city. The sectors where you see, and we call that leakage basically, the dollars that are leaking out. The groups or categories that have the highest leakage are in the general merchandise category. There's some examples there. That's a lot of what we spend in department stores, whether it's Macy's or Nordstrom's or McCullough's and Sears. It's general merchandise kinds of stores. And apparel is the other category. Clothing, accessories, shoes. Those two categories are very limited in shopping opportunities in Oakland and even in the inner East Bay, as we all know. There's also leakage in specialty category and home furnishings and appliances. And so when we say comparison goods, it's really those categories, the things that maybe we think of as major shopping, separate from going out to eat or convenience shopping or drugstore items. This is our more major shopping. I'll go back 1 minute. In terms of where the dollars are going, on the bottom corner there, we just sort of highlighted, as we all know, the places we shop, but a lot of dollars going east and west, San Francisco and Walnut Creek. We also have dollars going to Emeryville, Berkeley, and some to San Diego, our adjacent cities. But you see a lot of dollars even leaving the inner East Bay. We tested, we said, all right, we know we have all these dollars. So we tested to see, you know, what kind of recapture would you have to think about if you had major retail here? And I think the results are very surprising. Well, not surprising, but they're good news, and they were surprising actually. Say if we assumed for this that if you had about 800,000 square feet of comparison retailing here in Oakland, new comparison retailing here in Oakland, you'd need about $280 million of sales to support those stores. And when you compare that amount of sales to those expenditures that we estimated earlier, you find that if you could capture between 8 and 12% of the expenditures for Oakland residents and inner East Bay residents, you could make those sales. That's not a really huge percent. And when you go into this, you sort of think, would you have to get a quarter of them? Would you have to get half? Would you have to get 10%? The percentage is around 8 to 12% of the expenditures. So that really shows there's a very large and potentially lucrative market here. So the market exists. The real issue then is how to attract those sales, to do something significant enough that people would want to shop here instead of in those other areas. It's convenient, clearly, and that's a big plus, but it has to be more than just close by. And the kinds of factors that are going to be very important then in the success of new retailing in the area. Number one is the critical mass. It has to be significant. It has to have a lot of stores, basically. The tenant mix, what kind of tenants and merchandise are offering. Are they the things we all are spending our money on? The location and the configuration of the retail, and that is also related to the place itself and the design. Steve was mentioning some of those issues before. A desirable place that we want to go to shop, as well as having the stores there that we like. And then access and parking and security are all important issues. And these are things, as the planning process proceeds, we'll be looking at a lot more carefully. We have a recommended strategy at this point, and it has sort of a part A and a part B. Part A, actually, is when you take a look at the study area in the context of the market and the kinds of things you would have to do to make the retail successful. It really suggests a lot of emphasis on what we're calling the lifestyle retail district in that Valdez triangle area, which is the southern portion of the project area. It has a lot of advantages. That area and below there, you could have up to 20 to 24 acres. It's a multi-block area. It's a little bit bigger. It provides the ability to create what I call a retail district, as opposed to just some buildings with retail. We're looking at a shopping district or mixed-use retail district because of the way it's laid out. There's room for anchors, there's room for stores, smaller stores that support the anchors. It connects to downtown, to the neighborhoods, and it is fairly close to the areas where we see a lot of new energy, where the new housing is coming. We have Art River, we have the Uptown, we have Airlock, Fox. You know, it's at that end where there's a lot of activity, and it connects to our neighborhoods. So I think part A is to focus major retailing down in that area. In doing that, call it in the triangle area, the characteristics of retail then that you would look to think about in that area, number one is that critical mass. And we think you would need a critical mass of about 1 million square feet. Say 700 or 800,000 could be that comparison with shopping that I was just talking about. But then what you get in the district in addition would be eating and drinking, entertainment potentially, some convenience retailing, maybe some arts and cultural activities. So that total of activities provides a lot of things for people to do when they come there in addition to shop. Anchors are going to be really important. We're trying to get dollars back here instead of letting them leak out of our area, but a lot of the areas where we're going to have major department stores. The inner East Bay has very few. So getting major anchors and potentially 2 department stores would be a major, major component here that would really help the success. There are other anchors that are possible. Specialized retailing clusters or themes, for example, if we were able to get an REI store as they have in Seattle and many other cities, and then you put some related smaller stores around them, that even becomes an anchor. Something of that nature. You would probably look toward a blend of national and local retailers. It should be interesting. It should be something that's open. We're not talking about just all chain stores either, to make it a real interesting district. The other component of that would be also the place that's created, and many of the members of our team are going to be focusing on that too as the planning proceeds. There's a lot of trends these days, they call it lifestyle retail, but the issue is really having a retail district, not the old traditional shopping center, but a retail district that blends into the city, that has a lot of activities going on that we enjoy in addition to shopping. And the aspects, the physical aspects of that are going to be important will be, as Steve mentioned some of these even earlier, authentic and street-oriented, pedestrian-oriented, high-quality architecture, nice public spaces, sunlight, thinking about how that works, sunlight on the streets where we're shopping. vibrant active sidewalks, and then a mix of uses, not just retail.